Blog Talk Radio. Today is Monday, September 4th, 2017, and this is Foxology. Happy Labor Day Monday to all. And my guess is that many of you are making preps for backyard barbecues and stuff and such. Labor Day is always one of those fun friends and family get-together days, and, well, for others it's just a much-needed 3-day weekend or a short 4-day work week, a day to relax and appreciate being off from work, from that daily grind. Well, whatever the case may be, this is a national holiday. And you know what? Just in case you didn't know, because sometimes we just don't know stuff, it's the one that specifically recognizes and celebrates, we're celebrating everyone who contributes to America through their work and career. Yeah, that's what it's all about. You know, whatever you do that helps make this big machine called America work, that means you. Yes, indeed. Now, I know you may be thinking that whatever you do is meaningless. I hope not. You may think it's menial. I hope not, because I beg to differ with you. You matter in the scheme of things. And you know what? A story comes to mind that I have often shared in my corporate training. And it's a story about a gentleman who is a maintenance worker at NASA. And when someone asked him randomly, "What do you do?" Well, he proudly and boastfully replied, "I help put people on the moon." See, that's what I'm talking about. That's some good professional self-esteem right there. Your job and effort may seem meaningless to the people around you, or you can think of it as magnificent because you're part of something big, or at least something that really matters. So keep in mind that you don't have to be front and center all the time to shine. Just shine. Shine around those closest to you, just because, well, maybe that's because that's where God wanted you to be. Maybe that's where you're needed most. Maybe that's where your brightness is the most valuable. But all that being said, here's the question of the day for all of us. Is what you're doing labor or love? What kind of affair are you having with your work? Do you hate going to work? Hate what you do? Just feeling hateful, period, about all things work-related? Ooh, well, there's an app for that, and it's called Change, and that's what my guest, TV host Cassandra McShepard, and I are talking about today. Hey there, superstar RRR.
Silver Ray Fox. I love as you were counting out the different ways or a meaning of what today was. For me, it was a Monday work day. But that's all right, because I
forgot that category, didn't I?
Right? Like some folks are getting ready for a barbecue. Some folks are just enjoying the 3-day weekend. Yeah, but some folks got up and went to work this morning, hence I. But again, as I said, it's all right, though, because I love what I did. I love what I am trusted to do. It is no small thing to be trusted to talk to God's people. So, yeah,
absolutely.
It's a wonderful thing.
Well, you are shining, and it's real obvious that your work loves you back. Every time the two of us are out in public, people are just all over you, telling you how much they love seeing you on TV and what you're doing and how you bless them. So it's exciting, and you are one of the fortunate ones, because you know what? About 50% of the working population don't like what they're doing. They're unhappy in their situations, like completely dissatisfied, and that's a real big number, and it's very unfortunate. And I thought that you and I, as we normally do on our Master Your Mindset episodes, I put our heads together just to share some stuff that we understand about life and work that may just kind of help sway people in the direction of finding things that they really like or love, would really prefer to be doing. I mean, there's some amazing statistics. I looked at CNNmoney.com today, and they had an article online from a few days ago, actually, from August 25th. And that's where I got that number about the 50% of the population who say they are really dissatisfied at work. And the reasons are that most people who are the most dissatisfied feel that there's no opportunity, nowhere to go where they are. A lot of them don't like the company culture, which often is defined by so many rules and regulations and unfortunate things that don't make a whole lot of sense. I can say that from my knowledge of workplace backgrounds. A lot of them feel underpaid, and many times they're terrible bosses and very toxic coworkers, which is real common too. And that sounds awful, but it's the truth, and I know sometimes the truth hurts. Well, that being said, Cassandra, what we are going to try to do today is talk to people about who feel the most discomfort, because somebody's got to work in these workplaces. That's not a bad thing. You know, as I told you about the story of the maintenance worker at NASA. I mean, people, people are needed in these workplaces. But we're going to talk to people who maybe feel like, they are at that point where they want to make a change and maybe make a difference in a different environment. And so what I wanted us to start with, though, is something very practical, because I know very often, I've said this before, sometimes when people listen to life coaches or motivational speakers or, the whole positive thinking spin, they think of it as being kind of fluffy and not doable. So I like, in this particular case, for us to come out of the gates, talk about some things that are very practical. So many people are going to work. They're going to be at work. They have to work. They prefer that the routine of it and the confidence that it brings the check every week or every 2 weeks or every month or whatever the case may be. So one of the first things I said is find work you like and be amazing at it. At least try to find work that you like doing. And then I bulleted some things to kind of help in that process of doing that, because there are really key factors that help you get in the place where you most prefer to land. And I'm going to go down the list, and then I'd like for you to interject, Cassandra. I have, first of all, make yourself look attractive when you start going out for work. And I don't mean you have to look like Tyra Banks or some other movie star, Will Smith or, numerous other real dynamic men. But at least make yourself attractive by wearing the right things, knowing what industry you're walking into, trying to look good. Make your resume look attractive, and there's ways to do that. And I believe in professional resume structure. Get somebody to help you do that. One thing that stands out to employers more than any of your background or your experience is your personality, attitude, intellect, and professionalism. So be attractive in those areas, your personality, attitude, intellect, and professionalism. Statistics show people who come in with a really great attitude far outweigh and get the job above those who are tremendously qualified for a position. That sounds crazy, but it's the absolute truth. What are your thoughts on that, Cassandra?
You know what, Silver? As I listen to you, you are absolutely right about everything you said. However, I still hear somebody saying, I'm stuck on the finding work that I want to do. That a lot of times for people, they have to get a job or have to keep a job, and there is not a real connection with where they are in that moment. A lot of times, as you know, if you have not been able to secure a position, you'll take the first thing that's available to you, like it or not. But liking what you do, showing up for where you are is critical, period. And I would urge that people remember, I don't care who signs the check, you are always self-employed. You work for yourself. And oftentimes, just that shift of gear of your thinking can take you out of this employee trap that we sometimes find ourselves in when we are on the woe train of what we don't like about our jobs. You're working for yourself. You're working for the life that you're living, for the things that you enjoy doing. You're working so your dots can connect and so your ends can meet. And if we stay, and I have been self-employed the majority of my life, self-employed, whereby I generate the business and decide how much money I'm going to make in a situation. But somebody / the client is still signing the check. So it's really not that different, but being self-employed puts me empowered versus a troll or an employee. It says that I know what I'm doing, where I'm doing it, and I bring integrity to whatever I do, which means that I am always employable. And that gives me the attitude, the ability to show up that you're talking about. And you're right. I don't care how qualified you are, having hired employees in the past. I don't want a sour attitude. It cannot represent the business that Cassandra does. I'd rather train you if you're willing and if you can show up and you look right.
Exactly.
Don't come sagging. You know what I'm saying? Don't come sagging and crazy. But it's because it's much more valuable than willingness. And like I said, if you can just stop being an employee and being self-employed, which is the bottom line for everything, because you're working so you can live the life that you live in.
It's true. It's true. And I like how you put that. That's exactly right. It's our responsibility to bring everything that we are and think of it as our own job, our own responsibility. And then, you know, in many of the last years, that's been one of the theories that many employers are trying to get across to employees, to their ownership in their job. For sure. I think it's important that we also realize in finding the work you like, you know, it may be an accredited or a credentialed position that you really want. And in those cases, while you're working toward that, try to find something that's very related, something in that field, something that can show up on in your experience background on your resume that somehow is a connection to that. And what I mean is if you're trying to become, you know, a lawyer, you know, being in a restaurant year after year after year, even though you might be making tips and whatever and it's getting the job done, is not necessarily a related type of situation. You would want to search out people who may be looking for somebody who can even a lawyer that may need some extra help in the evenings or, you know, actually going into a federal or municipal workplace until you can get to the point where you're getting your law degree. But it's a very good thing, if at all possible, if you can map yourself to what it is you're really wanting ultimately. And sometimes in the process of that, you find out you land in a really good place, even maybe more so, maybe better than what you even thought you were shooting for. So that whole mapping idea is something I really promote. Map yourself to what you want. Try to find things that are very much related to, connected to, associated with what that ultimate goal or dream of yours may be. The second thing is create the work you love. Now, Cassandra, I know you have a wonderful story that you shared with me several weeks ago that I really was looking forward to you sharing with the audience today, of a young man that approached you with a unique question.
Well, I always say, Sylvia, if you can't find a job, make a job. And I so believe in that because I have made many. And basically, making a job consists of two things. It consists of tapping into a need, And the need can be as simple as someone that needs to have their dog walked. It can be as complicated as someone that needs some help trying to figure out life. It could be wherever the need is. So identify the need, and the best place to look for that identification is with yourself. What do you need? Because if you need it, somebody else needs it also. And couple that with something you can do, and boom, you have a job. Now, of course, it takes some finesse on how to put it together and whatnot, but making a job is not impossible. More and more people do it every single day. It is the basis for entrepreneurship, which is a real, a solid thing in this economy. But the story that you're referring to is I was at one of the big box stores, and I just pulled up into the parking lot, and this young brother retrieving carts from the lot recognized me from the shelf, and he said, aren't you the TV lady? And I said, yes. And he said, I want to do what you do. How do I do what you do? And I said, well, first of all, what is it that you think I do? And that question, because again, just because you see me on TV, what is it that you, and it's not even about what he thought I did. My question was really, what is it that you want to do? And I said, because I am not an anchor. I am not a meteorologist. I am not a reporter. The show that we do is an entertainment show, and I am therefore an entertainer. So what are you talking about? Because if you want to be an anchor or you will need a degree in journalism, reporter. You will need that kind of training. I don't have that. If you want to be a meteorologist, that's a whole different, very defined, which is not impossible. There are very clearly defined rules for all of that. I said, but I broadcast my opinion. I'm an entertainer. I said, it's what I've done. I said, and if that is what you want to do, you can do that today. You got a phone, don't you? You got a Facebook page? Get an opinion and find a way to communicate with it. You can make videos and post them. You've got followers already, I'm sure. Then you are doing, in essence, what I am doing. I do it for Fox Network, but you can do it anytime. I said, it's not difficult. The real thing is identifying, and that should not be a stressful thing, identifying what makes your heart sing, identifying what you came here to do. And all we have to do is pay attention and to the life that we're living already. It's not a big secret to figure that out. But once you do, and whatever it is, in terms of this young brother, if this is really the route he wants, start making videos. I said, you can do them. I said, because you will learn, you will have to know how to speak in front of a camera, but you can practice. You don't even have to post them. I said, but that is in essence what I do, and you can do that today. I said, and you can do it with such excellence and so much commitment. That is what happened in my case.
And you know what? That's what's happening a lot. It was very good encouragement and advice for him, because we really do have so many tools, right? Literally in our hands now to make things happen. And literally people are getting discovered very easily by just, showcasing their skills on social media. Many people have become millionaires by starting businesses there. It is not impossible. The whole, I've always thought all things are possible, but the limitations are really off now.
Let me jump in here now. And if you like what you're doing, it's not even hard. Because if you like what you're doing, you're not doing it for the millions. You're not doing it for the callback. You're doing it because it's what you're here to do. And when you show up and do what you came here to do, when you show up and tell the truth, the world will come looking for more, because you're contagious. And that, I think, as I listen to what you're sharing today, what we're talking about, labor or love. And they always say that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And it's so cliche. But that thing is real. It's really real.
Yes. Yes, it is. And I want to just say another statistic I found on the Bureau of Labor and Statistics today is that percent of businesses are home-based, and also that includes sole proprietorships. And there's like 20 19.4%, that's what it is, are non-employee, meaning that you're doing that on your own for you for whatever money and you generate, which is really very powerful. And just so you can take the fear, listener, out of what you're doing, one of the statistics also said that over 500,000 businesses are started every month. People launching out, trying to do their own thing. That's a lot of people. Be in that number in September or October, or plan it for next May or whatever. That means a lot of people ain't scared. So just try it. And you know what came to me too, and it may be a little bit flippant for some, but maybe you have an idea today, and smart business people have done this. They sell it till it sells out. If it plays out in 3 months, they're done and on to the next thing to make another $1 million. If that works, then so be it. Don't be so stuck on, well, okay, I made that $1 million, and boy, I could probably make 10 million more. Maybe not. Go on to that other idea, because probably if you're an idea person, you have a whole lot of them, not just one. But don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to even have a snow cone cart in the summer, or hot dogs, or whatever the case may be. You know, many people do seasonal things that make them a whole lot of extra money. And so there are all kinds of opportunities to take advantage of it and do something that you truly do love and enjoy. We definitely encourage you to do your own thing. And with the last few minutes that we've got, Cassandra, and I already know what you're going to say to this about getting unstuck. I know you're going to say change your mind, so I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about that. Getting unstuck from the thinking that I am really stuck in this position for various reasons. I got a family, I got responsibilities, I've got this, and I've got that going, and I can't possibly see myself trying to do anything else other than what I'm doing, and maybe for a good long time. And we are not going to sabotage that by telling you, well, you just need to, take a leap, because I know what those responsibilities feel like, and sometimes you have to wait on what I think is a very key thing, and that is timing. So don't be discouraged. Stay where you need to stay for however long you think you need to stay, but consider the fact that there is a time, and there is when you have to be ready to make that decision when that timing feels like it's really right for you to do so.
But let's do this, Silver. Let's do this. Let's talk about the slow death that happens when you deny yourself. Let's talk about the physiological ramifications of having a dream or knowing better than you're doing and not following it. That, as I always say, stress is going to kill you, but it's going to make you ugly first and no fun to be around. So I am not saying leap if you have not given it some thought, if you have not, because if you're in a situation, and many people have a job that they hate that's killing them softly, slowly or quickly, but financially they can't make that cut, and I get that. There is a time that happens when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, when you don't care where you go, you just know you can't stay here any longer. And if that's what it takes for you, do that. But I will say this, along the way, and family and mortgage and bills and responsibility is a real thing. But if you are in that situation, I'm going to try not to say just change your mind. If you're in that situation, one of the things that gives you some freedom that is being part of a solution. So if you're in that situation and you can't cut ties this week or this month or this year even, begin to do something that honors the dream. Make a contact. Make notes. Put some monies aside. Go to a seminar. Talk to people who do or who have something to honor your next step. A very, very good friend of mine in the business and had been there. She went to school for, she had the degree in journalism and very, very successful in the business. but there was more that she wanted to do. And about a year or so ago, now she got pregnant with this idea, and she continued to keep the job. She has a family, mortgage responsibility. She kept the job and she worked it, but she also, while keeping the job, wrote a book. She started the business. She built the website while coming to work every day. And about a year ago, she cut the ties. She is flying so high. She did the work. She honored the dream while cashing the check. And then it got to the point where it was time for her contract to renew, and she said no. She was concerned. She was afraid, but she did it. She'd done the work. She kept the dream alive while cashing the check. She honored the dream, and then the time came. But also that last year or two leading up to her finally taking the leap were less painful because she was honoring her next step. She was honoring herself. She was honoring the dream and preparing to take flight. So I said all that without saying, just change your mind.
Which is what she did.
It is.
Which is what she did.
But you're right.
She changed her mind and changed her life.
But if you don't know how to do that, it sounds dismissive for us. And you and I, having been dismissed, are never this is real stuff we're sharing. This is not about dismissive. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just saying it's possible. And if you don't know what to do, now you know. Make a contact, honor the dream, write something, do something that takes you out of feeling stuck where you are. All of those acts, and just one little thing. The next day or the next week, you'll think of 3 things to do, and you are elevating, because the reality is, she could have done it 3 years ago if psychologically she was ready. She could have done it and figured it out on the way. Many people do.
Right.
But what she did was elevate her thinking. Go on. No,
go ahead and complete what you're going to say. I think it's pretty
I was going to say
valuable.
What she did was elevate her thinking until, again, it's just law of attraction. She elevated her thinking or vibration. There was no way she could fail. When she was level with her desire, when her belief in her ability to do it was level with her desire for it, and for her, because she's a planner, is because she had put all these things in place, all her ducks were in a row, was time to do nothing else. It wasn't even a leap. She just had to make a step. It wasn't like she had to leap forward or across or anything. She did the next logical step was go do the darn thing.
And you know what I love about all of that and things that we, again, have tried to outline for people today is that there are processes and there are actions and there is faith, and all of those things work together to make these things happen. I want to thank you once again for being my special guest. We're down to a few seconds. Tell people quickly how they can check in with you on a daily basis.
Real Milwaukee, Fox6now.com. We stream live Monday through Friday, yes, even on holidays. Mm-hmm. You can find me on my website, CassandraMcShepherd.com, and I'm going to trust, Silver, that you have linked to me on your page, and you should definitely check out Silver Ray. Yes, Foxology. You should definitely check that out. Spend some time there. And I will always be with you wherever you need me, Silver. You count on that.
Well, I sure appreciate you for that, because as I've said before, you bring a lot of flavor to this, and I appreciate all the things you know so far, sis, and you know that. Thank you very much for taking time to stop by and chat today. All right. You enjoy your holiday. Thank you.
You too.
Thanks. All righty. Well, I want to thank all of you, too, for taking a few moments to check in with us today and get some good stuff. We're winding up here real quick, but share with your friends about Foxology, because I'm always trying to bring something really empowering and enlightening to you. And there'll be random shows. I don't know that I'm going to lock it down to a weekly day or time. I'm just going to do it when people can do it with me, and that's the way it's going to be. But I want to wish you a very happy holiday. I hope you enjoyed and all your eating and your friends and your family fun. And I look forward to talking to you on the next show. And until next time, be good, be blessed, be awesome.